Hey folks, this is Kevin from Seek Outside. I'm going to talk to you about some winter camping hot tinting tips. This isn't alpinist type tips way above tree line. This is hot tenting general winter camping. Now winter can be a great and very rewarding time of the year to go outside. You don't need to go 10 miles to get away from people. A lot of times you go a mile or two in and you have the place to yourself. Beautiful starry nights. Lots of deep snow. However, it also has a lot of challenges as well, and we could make a lot of these tips videos. So let's kind of get rolling. First off, keep your face warm, but don't breathe inside your bag. Breathing inside your bag is going to wet out your bag, putting moisture inside your bag, make it less efficient at actually keeping you warm. So a few ways to keep your face warm. One, there are some base layers that have hood and integrated face masks. Those are going to be a really good start. Another, you could take like a fleece blanket or something, put it over your face. Or if you're not super picky on weight, and these don't weigh a ton really, you know, these fur ruffs, they do a great job. They really limit kind of the feeling of the breeze around your face as well. So keep the face warm. One that may not be so obvious is carry several pairs of gloves. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to have this nice pair of gloves. You're going to think the world is great. You're going to leave these outside your bag. In the morning, your gloves are going to be frozen over like this. In addition, liner gloves help a lot because you can't always move your hands very well in these to do little things that you need to do. For instance, cooking. So I take a liner glove, I take a pair of gloves, and then I actually take mittens. I sleep with these, one pair of these in a bag, or I stuff it inside my jacket as well, and that keeps them from freezing. Let's talk about some stove tips real quick. Stove platform. Now we sell two various platforms. One is a utility tray, and then one is our actual stove platform. They help, but they aren't perfect for winter. And the reason why none of those platforms are going to be perfect when you're on a lot of snow is because they're relatively slick. You want something that has a little friction to it. So what I do is, oftentimes, is I'll cut a round, something about this big around, and then I will split it. I split it so it has a flat area on it, and I'll take the end of the knife, put a couple little holes in it for stove legs. Then I'll set those down, put the stove on that. That stays anchored and in place really well. Wood prep. If you want to keep warm for long periods of time, you're going to need to do some wood prep. Big wood, any of our stoves, SXL and above, any of our stoves will keep most of the tents warmer, but the ones SXL, XL, those bigger stoves, you're going to be able to put in more wood and they're going to burn longer and moderate the temperature a little bit. I like to take these Silky Saws. These things work great. I can cut rounds about this big with them. These rounds will burn for a long time, very moderate. And then, for splitting the wood, I take a large knife, not as big as this, but something with a good, nice blade like this that I can split those with. It's going to be more efficient than taking the axe or the hatchet. You know, the axe or the hatchet looks really good. You feel outdoors and woodsy. If you do a comparison, the small saw and the good knife are going to win out on speed and efficiency. When you have big wood like that, you can throw a couple of rounds and a couple of split pieces in every 2-3 hours, maybe even every 4 hours, and still have the fire come back to life. Now, one thing you may not think about a whole lot is water. I mean, of course, water freezes, but you want to have it in some sort of insulated container. So have something to insulate and keep your water warm. And also, plastic tops on bottles, they often break when it gets real cold. So an Nalgene or something on a Hydro Flask. I like the Hydro Flasks a lot. I carry them often in the winter, but the plastic piece can break when it gets below zero. Finally, in this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about vapor barriers. If you research vapor barriers, they're used in all sorts of ways in cold weather winter camping. Primarily, they keep moisture from getting into your insulation, stuff like that. I'm not going to go into big details on winter barriers and that, but a vapor barrier is something that basically does not let moisture go through. And I'm going to give you a little real story. This is a garbage bag. This garbage bag can also be a vapor barrier for my feet. A few years ago, I was hot tinning by Timberline. Buddy and I, he was snowboarding, I was skiing. We were just getting some kind of cool lines on our own. His feet were cold. We put these on his feet, the same boots, and he was fine for about the next 36 hours, just because it changed the humidity and the evaporation. You'll have to go research that stuff to get a better foundation, but they can work, and these weigh next to nothing. Anyway, that's all the tips for this time. We'll probably have a couple more segments of this. Thank you.